Hey folks, everything new under the sun. Does it look like Russia is turning against Israel in a significant biblical fashion? Well, I've got the War of GOG Magog, Ezekiel 38 there with the supposed countries that are included, and I think many of them are correct. Persia, Iran, Kush, Sudan, Libya, and Russia has troops in Libya right now, by the way. And then we have, of course, Turkey, Gomer, Meshach, Rosh, Magog, which is the people groups from the Russian area, the stands, etc., that people group. And here we have an article from allisrael.com. Russia turning against Israel, growing dangerously close with Iran, says Israeli Minister Gideon Sa'ar. That is absolutely biblical. So as we see that cooperation, that lining up of the nations get more clear, we recognize that Ezekiel 38 and 39 is coming, and all the ducks are lined up for that. That's very, very interesting. So we're going to keep that in our sights. This here is an interesting article. It's a couple days old now, but Australia's telco giant's outage affects over 10 million customers, 400,000 businesses. A telecommunications giant in the land down under experienced a massive outage that left more than 10 million customers, 400,000 businesses, and essential infrastructure without phone or internet services. Now, this happened in Canada. I forget when it was. Was it last year? Anyways, I think Rogers went down. Was it Rogers? Went down across Canada and took out banking services, internet. I think was it Bank of Montreal? I forget exactly. You couldn't do bank, couldn't get money out of the ATMs, and cell phones were down. It was catastrophic, and it was countrywide, folks. When the internet goes down, everything goes down because everything relies on the internet at this point. And if that is down for more than, say, a couple hours at a time, it is Mad Max. People will go crazy when they can't buy things. They can't even get fuel for their cars because no one carries cash anymore. And this is a problem. This is why I say you may want to carry some cash, because when cyber attacks start, the first thing when World War III kicks off is that communications will go down and cyber attacks will start. The internet will go down and you will not be able to buy or sell. Kind of sounds biblical, doesn't it? We're not there yet. But that's exactly what's going to happen because ATMs are going to be down. People can't process credit cards or debit cards. And again, you leave this for more than a day, and people will go absolutely berserk. They will be desperate. They'll quickly run out of food, all the necessary items. They won't be able to pay their mortgages. And again, this is why you need to have some cash on hand to pay these bills. Even if the economy doesn't collapse, if a cyber attack happens, you're going to want cash in your wallet. Speaking of countrywide outages, this is coming to Canada. Alert Ready emergency alert system. So I was notified of this by my internet provider. Apparently, on all connected devices, cell phones, etc., they will ring the emergency alert. It says on November 15th. It's at the top there. You can't read it. On November 15th. A national test of Alert Ready system is taking place in participating provinces and territories, and it has a list of all the provinces and territories. So going through Alberta, British Columbia, and Manitoba, it has the dates and times. And this is coming up in the Yukon, Saskatchewan, November 15th, Prince Edward Island, November 15th, Ontario, November 15th. So some of these tests happen May 10th. In the same provinces, looks like all the provinces actually, and then a second test is coming November 15th. So be prepared. They have a whole list of cell phones. You can check your cell phone's compatibility. This is going to fire off on cell phones, on televisions, and radios. So listen to this. Here's some of the audible alert. All right, I won't play it too long because I think that's some sort of copyright audio or something that you're not supposed to normally play. But that is what it says, and then there's a little video down below that tells you about what's going to happen there. So this is very interesting, and it's just one of those things that the government is getting prepared for. All the other factors, the government stockpiling freeze-dried food and getting military ready and getting 800 new recruiters in the United States to ensure they can do a draft or a conscription, whatever it may be. Dusting off their nuclear weapons plans and defense plans and all these sorts of things. When you see all these things coming together, I think you can understand that we are near a time when World War III. I think we're in the middle of World War III, but kind of um, the live nature of it, where all the world is involved, all countries and troops are being sent from the different countries. I think when that happens, we will all recognize and realize it, and we're heading there very quickly. All right, this is what's happening in Syria now. Syria is interesting, prophetic um, geography, piece of land, because Isaiah 17 speaks of it. Isaiah 17 speaks of the destruction of Damascus. It becomes a ruinous heap. Damascus is a city in Syria, which is basically the home base and the royal palace of Bashar Assad is there. And at some point, Israel gets fed up and causes the destruction of Damascus. It appears Isaiah 17. Go read the chapter for yourself. Damascus has been a continuously inhabited city for thousands of years, and so this is a yet future prediction where it becomes a ruinous heap, and only animals live there after that. And we're getting close to that point as not only does Israel do strikes in Syria and around surrounding areas of Damascus, but U.S. is launching airstrikes, and they were doing this as a deterrent, but apparently it's not working. It says the first major U.S. strikes on eastern Syria occurred October 27th, with the second round following on November 8th. The Biden administration had at first touted that these would deter further aggression. Same thing with the aircraft carriers and the surfacing of the submarine, nuclear-powered submarine in the Mediterranean. This was supposed to deter these nations, but they're not stopping. It says it said that they expected it would deter further aggression on U.S. troops, but clearly not. So we have now stories coming out of a downed, was it Apache helicopter, 5 U.S. servicemen killed in Cyprus, I think it is, and more troops killed in various locations in Iraq, and such airstrikes happening, and U.S. troops on the ground are being killed due to what's happening. And this is, as if we need to poke the bear in the eye anymore. This is from War News 247. U.S. mocks first strike nuclear attack on Moscow and St. Petersburg. So they're running tests what's the word? They're running drills, strike exercises. They're trying to see what would happen. And trying to simulate the dropping of nuclear weapons on Moscow and St. Petersburg, and then trying to war game. What is Russia going to do about it? Is there going to be a defensive secondary strike, etc.? And they're targeting ICBM silos. Now, you look in the U.S. where are the ICBM silos? Well, North Dakota and all those Montana, those locations, and so that Russia is also wargaming first nuclear strikes on the United States. Is that what takes them out? Is that why the United States as a country is not named in end-time Bible prophecy in Ezekiel 38 and Isaiah 17? Specifically in Ezekiel 38, because it mentions other nations, the young lions of Tarshish, and other countries, but it doesn't mention the United States, which is currently the world superpower. And you would think the current world superpower would be named by name in the Bible if God knew what was happening. And you may be surprised. It could be that the United States has been removed as a world superpower, and they are effectively destroyed at the time when Ezekiel 38 and 39 happens. And I think that's exactly what's happening. I think they're taken out. I think they have no political will or absolutely no physical ability to back up Israel or to come to Israel's rescue at the time of the Ezekiel 38 and 39 war. And therefore, we don't see their name in end-time Bible prophecy. But doing simulations of nuclear tests on St. Petersburg and Moscow, I think this will just further inflame the situation and cause the sides to firm up. It will move Russia further to China's hands, our arms, and Iran's arms, and strengthen that alliance, because you have a direct threat from the United States, nuclear threat. It's incredible. By the way, are you hearing anybody talk about peace? Are you hearing the Western nations, so-called the good guys, the Western nations, the United States? Are you hearing them talk about peace? No, absolutely you do not. They're not talking about it. They're not putting committees together or talking about it at the United Nations. They're not telling Israel to stop, whether you think they should or not. No one is talking about peace. No one wants peace. Isn't it interesting? And it says in the last days that the hearts of men are continually evil. Just as it was in the days of Noah prior to the flood, the hearts of men are continually evil. Nobody wants peace anymore. Nobody wants ceasefire. Nobody's looking for it. Even in Ukraine, there's still very little talk of coming to any agreement. Although it seems to be winding down there, because the public interest in supporting that war has now changed to supporting Israel. Regardless, in these last days, there will be no peace. And when World War III goes hot, if you will, and there are bombs falling across the nations, not just Israel or Syria or Ukraine, then I think people will, at some point, they will be on their knees, they will be desperate, they will be starving, they will need a savior, and they will call upon the world to produce a savior, and a savior will come into focus. And interesting that Israel, I don't have the article up, but Israel is looking to get Tony Blair on board to work to be the coordinator of the humanitarian effort in Gaza. Tony Blair. So is he? When you're looking at these stories and who they're putting in place to kind of lead the nations to bring peace or to help peace move along, you say, wouldn't he be? Could he be an interesting Antichrist character? Anyways, I just thought of that, and so that's what Israel's trying to do by opening up a humanitarian corridor led by Tony Blair in Gaza there. So that's kind of the update as I see it. I think a lot of interesting things are happening. We're seeing Russia further pushed into, again, the open arms of Iran and China. And I think Turkey is quickly moving there as well, as they condemn and stand by their Arab brothers. They condemn all what Israel is doing in Gaza. So the alignment of nations that gathers in Ezekiel 38 is aligning as we speak. And they have been slowly for a while, and now they're aligning a little bit more faster. And we can see it in the news real time. So I'll leave it there, guys. Get prepared. Bible prophecy is coming to pass. The Lord is coming. But I think we're going to see some significant fireworks during these end of days, and not necessarily good fireworks, but there are fireworks nonetheless. And the tinderbox of the Middle East, starting to spark, and the flames could ignite at any time. Thanks for watching. I'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next video.